Train travel in the past was a unique and exciting experience, filled with the sights, sounds, and adventure of the open rails. It was a time when journeys were as much about the trip itself as the destination. Today, we take a look at 10 train travel features that history left behind. Steam engines powered America's trains throughout the early years of rail travel, providing the iconic image of billowing smoke and powerful chugging sounds. These massive engines were driven by steam generated from burning coal, turning water into the force that propelled the train forward. The Union Pacific Big Boy, introduced in the 1940s, was one of the largest and most powerful steam locomotives ever built, capable of hauling heavy loads across long distances. Steam engines were the backbone of freight and passenger rail service, until they were gradually replaced by diesel engines in the mid-20th century. While they were noisy and required constant maintenance, steam engines are remembered fondly for their romantic appeal and sense of adventure. Rail fans and tourists still seek out steam trains, such as the Strasburg Railroad in Pennsylvania, one of the few places where they are still operational today. Wood-paneled interiors were a hallmark of early passenger train cars in America. The rich, polished wood gave the cars a luxurious and classic feel, reminiscent of upscale hotels and private clubs. Mahogany, oak, and walnut were often used to create a warm and inviting atmosphere for travelers. These interiors were carefully crafted, with intricate details like carvings and moldings adding to the elegance. The wood paneling not only provided a sense of comfort, but also helped insulate the cars, making them quieter and more pleasant for long journeys. By the mid-century, many train companies began switching to more modern materials like stainless steel and plastic. Some restored vintage trains still feature these original wood-paneled interiors, keeping the history alive. Porters played a key role in ensuring passenger comfort during train journeys, particularly on sleeper and first-class cars. These uniformed attendants were responsible for assisting passengers with luggage, making up beds, and attending to other needs during the trip. The job of a porter was demanding, as they worked long hours and needed to maintain a high level of service. The Pullman Company was one of the largest employers of porters, many of whom were African American, making the job a vital source of employment during segregation. Porters became symbols of the hospitality offered on luxury trains, often remembered for their dedication and professionalism. They were also highly knowledgeable about the routes and could provide travel advice to passengers. The Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, founded in 1925, was the first African American labor union to be recognized by a major U.S. corporation. Art Deco. Trains were a symbol of luxury and innovation during the 1930s and 40s in America. These trains were designed with sleek lines, bold colors, and geometric patterns, reflecting the Art Deco style that was popular at the time. They often featured streamlined locomotives that looked futuristic and fast, even when standing still. Inside, the trains had elegant interiors with rich materials like polished wood, chrome, and glass, creating a glamorous atmosphere for passengers. Some of the most famous Art Deco trains included the 20th Century Limited and the Super Chief, which catered to wealthy travelers. These trains offered high-end services, including fine dining, sleeping compartments, and observation lounges. The 20th Century Limited was so iconic that its red carpet tradition for boarding passengers gave us the modern phrase, "rolling out the red carpet." Since the early days of train travel, conductors would punch passenger tickets as a way to confirm their fare had been paid. This practice involved the use of a unique hole puncher, often with a distinctive shape or pattern to mark the ticket. Conductors would walk through the train, asking for each passenger's ticket and using their hole puncher to verify it. The punched tickets were kept by passengers as souvenirs or proof of their journey. Ticket punching not only ensured accountability, but also added a personal touch to train travel. While modern technology has largely replaced paper tickets with digital versions, the tradition of punching tickets remains iconic in the history of rail travel. Some conductors collected their punch designs, which became an unofficial art form among railroad workers. During much of the 20th century, trains played a vital role in delivering mail across America. The U.S. Postal Service used special mail cars on passenger trains to sort and transport mail while the train was in motion. Inside these cars, postal workers sorted letters and packages by hand, ensuring fast delivery to destinations along the train's route. Known as railway post offices, these cars had sorting racks, mail slots, and bins for organizing the mail. RPOs were efficient and sped up the mail delivery process as trains could cover long distances quickly. Mail cars often operated on the most important train routes, including the famous 20th Century Limited. By 1977, the last mail car made its final run, as air and truck transport had taken over most mail delivery duties. At the height of the RPO system, over 10,000 postal workers sorted mail on more than 9,000 routes across the country. Observation cars provided passengers with stunning panoramic views of the landscape as the train traveled across America. These cars, often located at the rear of the train, featured large windows and, in some cases, glass domes on the roof for an even broader view. Introduced in the early 1900s, they became a popular addition to many scenic routes, such as those through the Rocky Mountains or along the Pacific coast. Observation cars were designed for sightseeing, with comfortable seating and open lounge areas. Travelers could relax, socialize, and enjoy the changing scenery without having to leave their seats. Many observation cars also included bar services, adding to their appeal. Although they are now less common because of higher operating costs, Amtrak still offers their Superliner Sightseer Lounge car to take in the views. Before the invention of modern communication systems, railroads relied on telegraph systems to keep trains running smoothly. The telegraph allowed railway operators to send and receive messages using Morse code, a system of dots and dashes. This was essential for coordinating train schedules, managing track usage, and preventing accidents. Telegraph lines ran alongside railroad tracks, connecting stations across the country. Operators could quickly relay information about train departures, arrivals, or delays. It also allowed for better communication between different railroad companies. The first transcontinental telegraph line in the U.S. was completed in 1861, but it was still widely used on railways well into the early 1900s. During much of the 20th century, smoking was not only permitted on trains, but was a common part of the travel experience. Many trains had designated smoking cars where passengers could gather to smoke cigarettes, cigars, or pipes during their journey. These cars were often located toward the rear of the train and provided a social space for smokers to enjoy their habits without disturbing non-smoking passengers. Smoking cars were sometimes more casual in design compared to other cars, with ashtrays and ventilation systems to help manage the smoke. As public attitudes toward smoking shifted in the latter half of the century, smoking cars began to disappear from trains. By the 1990s, most American trains had banned smoking altogether. Early on, railroad signal towers were essential for managing train traffic. These tall wooden or brick structures housed operators who controlled signals and track switches to ensure trains moved safely along the rails. Before computerized systems, operators relied on hand-cranked levers and manual communication to direct train routes. Signal towers were placed at key points along the railway, such as junctions and busy stations, to prevent collisions and delays. The operators worked long hours, constantly monitoring the movement of trains through their section of the rail line. Eventually, these towers started to be replaced by automated systems. Some of the old signal towers are now preserved as historical landmarks, offering a glimpse into the past of American railroads. So, what other train travel features did we not cover here? Drop a comment down below to tell us what you remember about train travel in the past.